Wayne Bovenschen, Associate Professor of Percussion for Oklahoma State University. Long name, long title, long list of history at Oklahoma State. He's been here a long time. As we welcome you to TV30 One-on-One. When you think about the pep band at Oklahoma State, you think about all the different traditions during a men's and women's basketball game. Many of those are really the influence of Wayne Bovenschen with the help of Eddie Sutton. How did that happen? It's a great story we'll get to coming up a little bit here on the show. But before we get there, I want to start with Wayne and where he started. He's helped with the percussion line for a really long time, and we have a tremendous percussion line at Oklahoma State University. But for him, it all began back in Michigan. Wayne Bovenschen.
You said it right.
I did. I like that. Bovenschen. What is that? What?
German.
And so tell me about your descent and your descendants. I
Well,
mean, you've had a descent, but let's talk about your descendants. I mean, you started in the north and you've come to the south. So see, there was a descent.
Well, and
right?
and people have asked me many times, well, why did you, what made you come to Oklahoma State? And it's like, there was a job open. What I do is a very specialized thing. I wanted to teach at a university. I wanted to teach percussion at a university. Well, you think about how many jobs just in the state of Oklahoma there are, 5 or 6 of us, know. So wherever there was a job open, when I graduated from college, Middle Tennessee State was open, Texas A&M, known now as Texas A&M Kingsville, was open.
Right.
Oklahoma State was open, and there was already one of the faculty members that was from Michigan State, and they had called up and said, hey, we're opening up a new job, for a percussion teacher, and do you have anybody graduating? And I was. So that, it's a little bit of the luck of the draw. I didn't grow up thinking, oh, I'm going to go, teach at that school that wears orange. In fact, I'm one of those guys, you can hate, I'll admit it. I'll say, it's Oklahoma State University. I said, is that the Sooners? I had no idea.
Well, I mean, Sparty lives in Ann Arbor, right?
That's right, yeah.
Right back at you.
Yeah, exactly. But it was like coming home. Yeah. It really was, because the two schools, I mean, vet school, big in both, ag school, huge in both of those universities. We, Michigan State, disliked Michigan, but they just looked at us like little brother because their rival was Ohio State. So it was exact same thing.
So let's back way up, okay? And let's go back to descendants. Do you know your heritage? And
I've done a little bit of work on that. That's going to be when I retire, kind of thing. I'll drop the money on that. I did do the whole DNA test, and it just confirmed what we knew, that it's the family came from Germany and the Netherlands.
Have you been to Germany?
One time.
Is that
on
right?
a band trip, yes.
Oh,
of course.
Well, that's how
the band trips have taken me just about everywhere.
Yeah.
A lot with Eddie Sutton.
Yeah.
But that's our wind ensemble did a conference in Austria, and so Germany, a lot of music that might have happened there. And so, we took one day where we went through there as well.
So you, we know, obviously, and by your conversation there, you started at Michigan State or spent some time in Michigan's East Lansing. Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Armada, Michigan. Not Armada, Armada. One of those, kind of like Miami.
Yep, absolutely.
So we were, Armada. And it's, the way that the roads work in Detroit is you've heard of 8 Mile, probably, through songs.
Yeah, sure.
And I grew up basically around like 36, 39 Mile Road. So pretty far north of Detroit. It was definitely in the suburbs, for sure. Kid Rock grew up we're about, I don't know him. I'm not name dropping here. Everybody knows who he is, and he grew up in another town, Romeo, that was right next to ours. We used to drive to Romeo to get to the McDonald's because there was no McDonald's in Armada.
Wow, looking for Juliet, probably.
Yeah.
I mean, just guessing. That's probably where you went in Cruise Town, and so Eminem, not you guys.
Yeah, no, we're not like this.
You don't roll together, okay?
No, not so much.
So childhood, what was that like?
Good for the most part. It's weird. when you're involved in music in the late 70s, it wasn't really a cool thing.
Really?
No, no. And so you kind of had to stumble through that a little bit. And so, yeah, I put up with a little, ribbing and all that when I was younger. It always amazed me because, so, you have this opinion of me because I'm involved in music, but yet you go to a rock concert and you think that drummer's pretty darn cool, So the minute I started playing drum set more in public, then things started changing a little bit. But no, I came out of my shell in college. In high school, you wouldn't believe this, I was very shy. I did not talk much. And it wasn't until college, and it was through the band, the Spartan Marching Band, that really helped me to gain confidence in myself.
So, being that close to Detroit, we know about the issues of Detroit from a standpoint of the economics to what it's like growing up there for a lot of kids that do come through there. But you were in the suburbs. Was it an easy childhood, or was there?
No,
there
it was pretty easy. Yeah, I mean, we were so far removed. You still had to drive. As you went south, Mount Clemens is like the edge of all of the suburbs. And then it pretty much turns into farmland.
Right.
So you have to drive through about 10 minutes of farmland, 10, 15 minutes before you got to Armada. So it's still growing, up there. I mean, as it happens in every, metropolitan area, that it gradually just spreads out.
Right.
It hasn't quite gotten all the way up there yet, but no, it was not. I'm not a city boy.
Well, there's just the surface for the complexity of one Wayne Bovenschen. Great guy, and again, has been helping Oklahoma State for a lot of years. But for him, it started in Michigan, and the real influence started when he went to East Lansing. We've got more coming up on TV 31 after this.
If you haven't been to TS Fork at White Barn Estates lately, we have an exciting new concept to tell you about. It's called Thirsty Thursdays, and it includes 4 courses of the same high-quality food as our other nights and some of the best mixed drinks you've ever had. Best of all, no reservations are required. And while you're there, relax with a drink on our covered patio and check out the gift shop with Made in Oklahoma products. Go to tsfork.com for more details and to check out our upcoming special menus.
To all of our neighbors, friends, the people we see every day, we come to you today with no news or announcement, but to let you know what's on our hearts. Because quite simply, we feel honored. You're the reason that what we do is so much more meaningful than a job. The reason we believe in the power of investing in tomorrow. But you're also the reason we believe in the power of sharing the same neighborhoods and a loyalty that's bigger than any challenge. So this is simply thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to move forward and grow, but never lose sight of the roots that connect us. As we step boldly into a time of change and innovation, consider this our promise that every investment in our hospital is an investment in our communities. Because you're the reason we love what we do and love where we live.
The McCafe is now featuring cold brew coffee and cold brew frappes. Face the day with a cold brew coffee from the McCafe with a rich cold brew coffee blended with ice for a creamy frozen drink that's colder than cold brew. Or refresh with a cold creamy frappe. We start with a cold brew coffee, blended ice, and topped with whipped cream and rich chocolate drizzle for a great anytime frozen treat. McDonald's in Stillwater, Perkins, Perry, and Cushing. I'm loving it. The Hideaway since 1957. The Hideaway is famous for a lot of things, including their off-the-charts fried mushrooms, incredible service, unbeatable lunch specials, and, of course, the one-of-a-kind pizza. Stillwater's pizza tradition begins and ends here, from the big country to the pizza of the gods. And even the sizes are famous, from the mini personal to the big kahuna. Like us on Facebook for unique offers, lunch or dinner, dine-in, pickup, or delivery. The Hideaway, 230 South Mount Block, or call 372-4777. More than a restaurant, it's a tradition. Welcome back, TV 31 Wayne Bovenschen, our guest. And again, when you think about Wayne Bovenschen and the influence he's had on Oklahoma State, it really is extensive. But I wanted to find out more about Wayne. How did he go? How did he start his whole career in music? And It started, he said, by a couple of things. One, he was an accident. He was a product of parents that were from the Depression. He was used by his brother to get girls. He was a huge fan of Magic Johnson. That's just kind of part of what we get into right here. What about your parents? What did they do?
Let's see. Dad did a lot of things. First of all, I was an accident. Okay. Dad was 44. Mom was 40.
Wow.
She felt sick. She went into the doctor thinking she had the flu, and it was me instead.
Wow.
So yeah, I was definitely an afterthought, because my youngest brother is 11 years older than me.
Wow.
My oldest brother was 21 years older than me.
Wow.
But Mom was a housewife. She never worked. And Dad, he owned a lumber yard. He owned a store. He was a butcher. He went into politics a little bit.
Wow.
A little bit of everything. But they were, I always say that I'm a first generation Depression child, even though I was growing up in the 70s
Right.
and into the 80s. My parents were both kids during the Depression. So, yeah, you ate all the food on your plate.
Yeah.
They weren't
Yeah.
strict about it, but Dad would certainly, give me the look if I was leaving a bunch of food. So I learned real quick to either learn how to eat a lot, which I could do. My metabolism, luckily, was off the charts, but or just take what you're going to eat. So
Siblings were almost gone by the time you were born. How close
yeah.
are you to your brothers?
Well, I only have one left. Both parents are gone. I mean, I'm 57. I know I don't look it. But my youngest brother, who's 11 years older than me, is the only one left. And he was my hero growing up. He was, the cool guy in high school. He had a Charger. He had a red Charger. He said, I don't remember this. I probably blocked it out of my memory, but he said he one time took me in the car and we were going down one of the country roads and he opened that thing up and he said, "Oh, you were scared to death." And he was loving every second of it. And then I find out later that he was involved in, the high school play every year. He would be in that. And evidently I was a cute kid because he would take me when I was 5 or 6 to play practice. Because all the girls would come. Yeah,
wow.
yeah.
Wow. Good
he
use.
was.
Yeah, good use. Smart man.
Yeah, he was.
Veteran move.
Oh yeah, whatever. But he told me that many years later. Oh yeah, you were a cute kid. I used you for my advantage all I could. But yeah, when he went to college, I was 8.
He go to Michigan State?
Of course he did.
Yeah.
No, he was my hero. That's why I wanted to go to Michigan State. We would play USC. The game would start, those West Coast games would start at 9:30 at night, and I would stay up and listen to the whole thing. I was a huge Michigan State fan. I would have been in school with Magic Johnson had he not left after his sophomore year.
Wow.
That's my era.
Wow,
and
yeah,
everything. So,
yeah.
it was an exciting time to watch.
Now, were you guys in a Michigan State area and it was just natural, or were you guys going against the grain a little bit?
No, where Armada is versus, Ann Arbor and Michigan State, it kind of went both ways. And the town was kind of split, but I'd say more for Michigan State because it was a little bit more of a farmer's town and the ag school there.
Sure,
so, yeah,
sure.
that was a little bit more MSU influence.
Music. When did you start enjoying or recognizing that, hey, I kind of like this stuff?
Well, I wasn't going to be in. I was pretty shy and reserved, as I said, and Mom wanted me to do that, and I didn't want to do it. I saw the high school band. I saw what you would term now as hazing, things that
Sure,
went on.
sure.
I wanted no part of that, and we started music in 5th grade. So, it came around to all the 5th grade classes, of which there's like 2. It was a small school, I didn't raise my hand. I didn't want to go do that. And so about 6 months later, she talked to the band director and said, "We'd really like to get him involved if you could, And so he kind of pulled me in and did like a test and said that I really wanted to play the trumpet. That's what I wanted to play, God's instrument, the trumpet.
Cool kids.
Yep, and that's where all the cool kids are. And but this is not set up for the trumpet at all. And he was a very good band director. He recognized that right away. He said, well, what you're best suited for is the flute or clarinet. Yeah, quiet kid's going to play the flute or clarinet. But Ken, my brother, was a drummer. And so I really wanted to play the trumpet and was going to go against the grain and everything that from what the director said. And Mom just put her foot down and said, we already own a drum. You're going to play. I'm the only person in the world, I think, that was forced to be a drummer. And thank goodness she did. Because, yeah, I did. I had a natural talent for that, which I would have not been in music. I would have gone in computers and probably been a millionaire. You know? But instead, I'm here and very happy. You know, that's dealing, you know, in my job, dealing with people that are music education majors, you know, and we always tell them it's a labor of love. You are not going to make money doing this, but it is a good lifestyle. So, and I get to do a lot of things that I love doing. I play with Morgan. You know, things outside of teaching. I'm still, you know, 33 years at OSU, and I'm still standing in front of the drum line because I love that stuff.
Did you occupy first chair always?
From my, you know, from my freshman year, we had auditions after marching season. Well, first of all, in 8th grade, for the Memorial Day parade, they bring the 8th graders up to march. And I was playing the cymbals. That's what they put me on.
Yeah.
And by the end of the parade, you know, this body was smaller than that. By the end of the parade, you know, I'm just shaking and I'm like this. I couldn't hold them up anymore. And I just knew at that point, I'm not ever doing, I'm going to practice to play on the glory instrument, which is the snare drum. And I did. I practiced a lot that summer. And then we had auditions after marching season for chair placement. And I got first chair my freshman year, which not great for the seniors, you know. So all that stuff I was afraid of, yeah, it pretty much came true. But yeah, I was lucky in that regard, and that's why I say it wasn't from, you know, there's no YouTube. There was no way, and we're in the middle of nowhere, so there was no way I was going to get a lot of instruction because none of the band directors were percussionists. So I just did it by, you know, there would be a book in a music store, and I would grab it, and I would just read everything in that book. Because, you know, when you don't have a lot of self-confidence and you see that you're kind of decent in something, you just go, you know, you jump in.
Pour in. Yeah.
You know, I'm sure like, you know, a person, you know, on the athletic ends of things that can run really fast. He's, you know, I want to be a running back. What do I have to do to be a running back? What you know, what do I have to build up to do that? So. You
were at this point still a huge sports fan, right?
I have always been I played high school, sorry, I sat the bench,
yes.
High school basketball, up until halfway through my senior year. And ironically, you know, because you know what I've done with the basketball band at OSU for so many years, when I dropped out at Christmas break, because I was, you know, it's just one of those things where I wasn't playing, it wasn't explained to me very well, or I wasn't listening. I'm going to go with it wasn't explained very well, that you are a part of the team. I always kind of felt like, well, it'd be better if you were off. And when I did say I was going to drop out, he said, yeah, that's probably best, you know. But I loved playing, and that's why I have always liked basketball. Because when I got out, I asked a bunch of people from the band, hey, maybe we should put together a band at the game. So my high school year, and you didn't have basketball bands there, but we did because I decided I wanted to put it together.
Is that right? So your pep band in high school was created by you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I wanted to do that because I wanted to stay involved somehow. And I even told the coach that. I said, you know, I was thinking maybe I could help more by doing that because that's what I'm, you know, better at.
Was it a good basketball team?
Oh, no. I was on it. Come on. Oh, no. Our women were good in everything. We were state runner-up in softball. We were regional finalists in basketball. They were really good. The men, not so much.
Kent and Barbara Houck have been saying they're a one-stop shop for many years. In 1951, the Houck Agency began insuring Oklahomans and since has expanded to insure people in 11 states across the country. The Houck Agency can find the policy that fits your needs from business health coverage, individual health, home, auto, and long-term health care policies. They have a staff that can take care of financial planning, including retirement and investing. And Barbara Houck has been a realtor for over 35 years, and her contacts helped her buy and sell homes and commercial properties across the state. One-stop shop, the Houck Agency, 801 South Main in Stillwater. Call statewide toll-free at 800-543-8255. 8588. The Houck Agency, when experience counts.
Hi, Casey Kendrick along with Tom Dorado, inviting you to join us for Out of Bounds Weekly, Tom, from guys like Mike Boynton, Jim Littell. We've talked to basketball coaches, football coaches. We talked to softball coaches. Nobody is off the radar on this show.
No, and hopefully they want to come on as much as we want to have them on. We have a good time with it. It gives you an opportunity to get behind their program. They tell you things that you maybe might not see in the newspapers or whatever. And we just have a good time on this show. It's expanded over the years for sure. Not time-wise, but we've expanded the scope. How's that sound? The scope has been expanded.
If you want to see the expanded scope, you can really see it through Tuesday mornings at 10 o'clock, because Tuesday mornings we do a show called Out of Bounds Raw. And it is nothing but the ugliness of putting a show together.
Oh, the ugliness.
It's a lot of fun seeing that show. Then the edited versions are Tuesday nights at 8 o'clock, Thursday nights at 8 o'clock, and Saturday mornings at 9 a.m. It is Out of Bounds from our Oklahoma Ag Credit Studios, only here on TV31.
Where do you go for computer help? Gigabytes. Gigabyte staff are experts in virus removal, software updates, and faster running computers. Gigabytes also provides small business support and network support, including websites. And they do laptop screen replacements, and they do all kinds of cosmetic repairs as well. Whatever your computer needs, they are the ones that can provide you with the answers and solutions to get you up and running. Gigabytes, 918 South Main, open Monday through Friday, 10 to 6, or call 533-1715.
Charlie's Discount Drug, where we know our customers by name. Oh, yeah. Charlie's Discount Drug.
Wayne Bovenschen is our guest on TV31 on 1 this week. And for Wayne, if you know him very well, you know he is a huge Michigan State fan. He's a Michigan State alum. And while he was there, he picked up an awful lot of stuff that eventually will influence Oklahoma State. And again, that's part of the story coming a little bit later. But for Wayne, he talked about the just getting ready for the band, being a shy guy, trying to make the marching band. How did his career really get underway in East Lansing? High school's coming to a close. You know, obviously, you're going to Michigan State.
I mean, they could have offered me a car full of cash and free tuition, and I would not have gone to the University of Michigan.
You were not headed that direction?
Nope.
Scholarship?
Nope. Because I went in as a computer science major.
Okay.
You know, my folks, again, back then, teachers were not a dime, or they were a dime a dozen, sorry. And so there wasn't really a demand for teachers, and they were worried about me finding a job, you know.
Sure.
So my first year I was computer science, did the marching band.
But did the marching.
Did the marching band.
Tryout? Did they have
oh
a
yeah.
tryout?
Oh yeah.
And was that how scary was that for a shy kid coming from Armada?
My parents, you know, told that story every holiday. I walked in, and head down, because this is your posture when you're a guy that doesn't have confidence and all that. So I walked in, head down, scared to death, going to go try out for these 2 college guys. But little did I know that I was pretty good for that level. And I'm playing my solo for them, and I'm watching their reaction. And the one guy who, talk about, again, the stereotypical drummer, his hair is long to the middle of his back. And everything, and his nickname was Thrasher. But he leans over to the section leader, and is just, keeps doing this and everything. And I'm thinking, okay, this is either good or bad. And I get done playing, and they just look at me and they said, well, of course you're in. And
wow.
That turning point in my life.
Did you participate in the pep band at Michigan State?
Mm-hmm.
And how did you get on that? Was that a tryout? How did that happen?
Yep, they ran it very similar, obviously, to what people have seen here. I had to audition. It was drum set. They didn't have marching drums for that, because there are some schools that still did that, but it was run more like a big band, like a jazz band. And yeah, I had to audition. And
Because there's not a lot of guys on the trap set, right?
No,
I
no,
mean,
you can't. There's one.
There's
Yeah,
one
you know,
guy out of everybody.
Yeah, well, there's 70 people in that pep band, and you got one drummer. Now, there were 3 of us, and you know, we would bring, to keep ourselves busy, when you weren't playing drum set, you didn't want to just sit there, so we would bring some congas and a cowbell and have some extra stuff to add in there that we just kind of did on our own. Because the fun thing about that is that there's no music for the drummer. You know, you just have to know the tune, you know. Billy, don't you lose my number. You just got to know the tune. And I bet you know that tune.
I do know that tune, but I don't know that I could play drums to it.
Oh, okay.
I probably need some kind of sheet music in front of me.
Nah.
So, how many people were in the drum line at Michigan State?
It was a pretty normal size line. I think we varied. We had 11 snares one year, and 6 tenors, 6 bass drums, and 6 cymbals.
So how many wanted to be in the pep band?
Not as many as you would think.
Really?
Yeah, it wasn't a huge audition. I think they only cut like 2 or 3 people. I think it was only about 5 people that auditioned.
So was Izzo the coach?
No, he was assistant though.
Okay, all right.
It was Judd Heathcote.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly right. So you didn't actually. He didn't have the job before you left.
No.
Wow. Okay.
No.
All right. So
in fact, well,
but this is important because,
Uh-huh.
and I don't want to spoil the surprise when we get to this. I think most people know this story, but it's a cool one. But obviously a good basketball team,
right?
And you cut your teeth on pep band at Michigan State.
Yeah, and it was a big deal. The band would give concerts, you know, outdoor concerts, because we knew so much music to keep people, you know, entertained and all that stuff during the game. That band was really a performance ensemble. And in the spring semester, we would do. There was this kind of park area right next to the music building. We just set up outside and play through all our stuff, and people would sit out in lawn chairs.
From pumpkins and parades to parties and performances, October is full of orange and America's friendliest college town.
What better way to see the beautiful Oklahoma State University campus in the city of Stillwater than by running 13.1 miles on Sunday, October 6th in the Stilly Half.
500 competitors come together at the Cowboy Stampede. Watch them rope, ride, and wrestle.
As the world turns orange.
We are so excited about the Harvest Carnival, Walk Around, and the Sea of Orange Parade.
Something you and I have done for a number of years on the radio.
With Broadway shows and internationally acclaimed symphonies, the McKnight Center for the Performing Arts at Oklahoma State University is a world-class facility opening this October.
Trick or treat with the downtown merchants, enjoy the carnival games, inflatables, and the costume contest at the annual Halloween Festival. Don't miss a beat in America's friendliest college town. Check out our full listing of events at visitstillwater.org.
To our neighbors and friends, we come to you today to let you know what's on our hearts. Because you're the reason what we do is so much more meaningful than a job. The reason we believe in the power of investing in tomorrow and the power of community. So this is simply thank you. As we step boldly into a time of growth and change, consider this our promise that every investment in our hospital is an investment in our communities.
If you haven't been to TS Fork at White Barn Estates lately, we have an exciting new concept to tell you about. It's called Thirsty Thursdays, and it includes 4 courses of the same high-quality food as our other nights and some of the best mixed drinks you've ever had. Best of all, no reservations are required. And while you're there, relax with a drink on our covered patio and check out the gift shop with Made in Oklahoma products. Go to tsfork.com for more details and to check out our upcoming special menus.
Well, that's episode 1. Still a lot to get to with Wayne Bovenschen. He came to Oklahoma State and he finds out he's going to be in charge of the pep band. What music are they going to play? How much influence did he have? And the meeting with Eddie Sutton that said, okay, here's some of the songs that you're going to play, and here's who we want you to be. Are you okay with that? Yes? No? It's a great story. It's coming up next time as we continue with TV 31 on 1. We'll do that with Wayne Bovenschen next week. Hopefully you as well. We'll see you then.